Hey, welcome back, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, P Funk, thinking right out here in the lab, in the book. It's getting better. Like my pastor would say, it's getting gooder. But I'm teaching what I know, and I'm loving this. Why? Because it's like a personal refreshing course for me. And now that I can teach it with more understanding, better understanding, it's a whole lot more fun. Why? I was learning to last go around, so that's the difference. Okay, I'm just letting you know this is about to have some fun. It may take a minute, but good information. You know what we do? Let's rock. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You doing and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily, will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get that together. So I ask the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. Yeah, that's what I do. A person, it's rhetorical, but if you have an answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not, foolish, disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not, it's simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm a spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to my app, be true. Right thinkers, I'm in the book. We go, I'm taking you page by page, and we just on page 18, so we got a nice little ways to go. Hope you enjoy the ride. Get comfortable. Let's go. Put your thinking cap on. I'm about to give you some information that you can really use. How about that? Let's talk about ancient Egypt, a.k.a. Kemet. Excuse me. And that's their real name that they called themselves. The Greeks called them Egyptians. All right. And then I'm going to try to give you a quick lesson in what they call world history and cosmic infinity. Excuse me. I don't know what I'm having a problem with that word, but it's good information. Let me start with the ancient Egypt. Our oral history that the pyramids may date from the time of the Sphinx, which go back 10,550 BE to 550 BCE. I just did my homework and my astrology and horoscope concept. The Sphinx constellation and the stars of Leo constellation was 10,805 BCE. That's how long ago they built the Sphinx, okay? According to the constellation, that's the true time. Now, and that there were used. Now, this part that kills me. They claim that the pyramids, okay, the pyramids may date back to the Sphinx. Yeah. Sphinx we know go back 10,000. But they said the pyramids was used for initiation rites. Okay, stop right there. That I can go with. I understand that. Into higher mysteries of yoga. Again, being part of the cult, so I can get the rituals. I'm with you on the rituals. And remember, being a free thinker and studying a good student, I will listen, but I will have my own interpretation and understanding. I'll let you know when we different. I have a different concept about them, but to get to that. But that's what they call higher mysteries of yoga, like the college level information. Okay, while I teach. Esoteric knowledge, bring you get the truth. And as repositories of ancient knowledge, to promote what they call spiritual evolution of what? Humans. Man, who would assist in the development of humanity. That's us. Sorry. Many Western archaeologists promote this asinine idea that the pyramids were used as burial mounds or burial tombs. If you ain't found a damn person buried in none of them, why would you keep saying it's a damn burial tomb? For what? Although, at no point in time in history has there been any evidence to suggest that any mummies were found in any of them. I know that, and everybody knows that, but you keep saying the pyramids were built the house. No, it wasn't. Sorry. Okay, because that's just wrong. And y'all keep perpetrating the same nonsense. And why do you think people are going to get the right idea if you keep telling the lie? I digress. And what's this? History, with coming from his perspective, often is presented in what? You ready? A biased manner. That means it ain't true. You can't trust his historical accounts of anything. What? If you know a person lie one time, or you got to catch them lying one time, what that mean? They only gonna lie once? Compared to a person who don't lie, you haven't caught in the lie, you believe the person who lied, but the person who got no reason to lie just tell you the truth. This is the problem we're having right now. His story is a lie. Our story is the truth, but he don't want us to tell our story. He won't tell our story. He's going to tell his story. See where I'm going with this? I got a problem with that. Moving on. But that's how that go. And because of their bias and ignorance, and they're presented in a biased manner, and it's always reflecting attitudes and views from what? From the perspective of the conquering group. He who wins the fight get to tell the story. He who laughs last get to laugh the longest. So when you conquer, you tell the story. And a new empire was born, or a new world order. Sound familiar? Who wished to what? To establish an historical basis for what? For their existence. Create this big story to make themselves look good. They came here, Native Americans already here. They discovered America. No, you didn't. They genocide a race of people. Now that they in control of a white America, it wasn't white when they got here. Now history has been what? Been then obvious. Excuse me. Let's go back. Sorry about that. Now, to the New World Order, who was to establish in what? An historical basis for their existence. That's the white man's way of putting himself in position to be superior over the blacks. White supremacy, they call it. Okay, white privilege is what's still going on to this day. Who gives y'all the right to dictate or decide who and what goes on? Moving on. Before you got involved with us, we was doing just fine. I know that. My history studies tell me that. Thus, what's this? Most of us are really unable to get the truth and an accurate picture of our history. Why is that? Because he's going to tell and distort it to put it in his favor. If he told the truth of what he did, how he did it, he can't feel good about himself. So he got to build himself up with a bunch of lies and stories that can make him look good so he can feel good about what he did to a race of people and continue to do it to this day. And his biggest fear is that people who he's been mistreating for all these years going to realize it and going to turn on him and he going to get what he deserves. His karma scares them to death. Okay, they can't sleep at night. But if you didn't do something wrong, you should have no fears. You should have no worry. You should have no demons. You should have no regrets. All that stuff they talk about. Why? Because if you're guilty of wrongdoings, you're going to have to pay for that. They know that. They know that. Okay? Oh, it wasn't me. No, okay. But you know the deal. Stop the nonsense. Let's go. Keep it real. Now, understand this. They tell the story. We won't get an accurate picture. Understand that. But Egyptian yoga, as it was presented to their masses at that time. And the reason why I went to Egypt was to learn how could a people live in peace and harmony for thousands of years. That was my philosophy. That's what I adopted. That's what I mastered. And now I know. So I know what they knew. I know what they studied. Why? I did it. I'm practicing to this day. I'm still am. I know what it is. Excuse me. I know the value of it. That's why I teach it. That's why I live by it. Okay, understand that. And the reason why they called it the mystery system, I'll get to that in 1 second. But the Egyptian yoga, as it was presented to the masses of people of the Egyptian population, they didn't keep the people ignorant. Okay, everybody was understanding a way of life. Watch this. When I tell you about being great or good, you don't tell how good and great you are. Let other people tell the story. That's what we're about to get to. And when the Egyptian population was all enlightened, it involved two major areas. The first was the country, as well as was seen by outside observers, which was what? Such as Herodotus, the Greek philosopher, and Plutarch, the unanimous as the most unanimously as the most religious of all the land. Meaning they're the most spiritual people they've known. Why? Everything was pretty much God. Gods and goddess. God for this and God for that. Yeah, we had a God of air. That's called Shu. We had a God of moisture. That's called Tough Nu. For every aspect of your personality, we had a God for that. Why? So you can study it philosophically, emulate it, and know thyself. We had all our gods. I'm going to read to you. All our God and goddesses are just aspects from the one God. The Greeks took it and made those people literal. I got a degree, PhD, master degree, BA, in Greek mythology. And not near time before I was 30. And not near time did they say anything about where they acquired their knowledge from. I never questioned. I never asked. They never told. So I just say, don't ask, don't tell. They didn't say that they was enlightened, they were educated by the Egyptians or the Kemetions. No. They just said Egypt meant burnt face. I know that much. That's what they say. And we still call ourselves what? Burnt face to this day. That means black. So all that arguing about, I'm wondering why Ira Van Sertima, all my teachers was trying to prove that the Egyptians black. They tell you, the Greeks tell you black is burnt face. Sorry, I get excited. I'm going to get a little upset because what I know about the Greeks is from studying and learning there and mastering their philosophy. Hence, right thinking. I'm a thinker. Thanks to them, I appreciate the knowledge. But I'm annoyed and pissed off how they, hide certain things. Okay, that's like me not telling you where I'm getting my knowledge from. Y'all ask me what book I'm reading. That's like me putting tape over it, hide who I want you to know I'm getting it from. Why? It's public information. Sorry. It's knowledge. It should be shared. That's my point. And I do that to do just that. Share it. I acquire it to first implement it, manifest it, use it, to know it, and then I share it. And you can do the same thing. Moving on. That's the whole idea of what I do. But the religious people were the Egyptians, according to everybody who visited them. It may be difficult to really imagine. Watch this. This part right here. It may be difficult to imagine an entire country, entire group of people where the doctrine of eternal life and reincarnation was accepted, watch this, as the manner of which the modern day world accepts television in our household. How about that? That's how common the afterlife and understanding that lifestyle was living Maya. They practiced it, they lived it, they understood it. That's what they did. To us, go home, cutting TV on is commonplace. To them, knowing thyself was commonplace. Practicing righteous and virtuous living was commonplace. That's all they knew. My pastor said it best. We just celebrated his mom's 90th birthday. 90 years, all her kids still in the church, still following her footsteps, and she leading the right way. Why? They don't know nothing else. And my pastor, I said, well, how did all y'all? He said, that's all we know, brother, right? He don't know nothing else. I ain't got a problem with that at all. And since I've been knowing him over 40 years, that's what he been doing. I freak out because his moms When I met her, I was a young kid. Right there. That's the guy who met his mother when we was kids. Today, she looks at 90, look the same way she looked when I was that age. I don't look the same. I love that. I know the secret, so I'm good. I'll be all right. But yeah, when you living right, you don't age. You notice that? Just putting it out there. That's what they say. Black don't know. Black living right won't crack. Why? Because it don't age. You'll never know how old we are. Why? We don't show it. We don't look it. That's why. I'm in the gym every day, so I'm trying to keep the body in shape, trying to maintain. So what? I can do one of them at 80. You don't look that old. Thank you. Moving on. But that's the idea. And as a society, they all live that. Excuse me. That's how it went for thousands of generations. Generation after generation of what? Knowing thyself, living righteous. That was a way of life. Once we were taken from that concept, and this is why our ancients left us the philosophy, what? Know thyself. That's what all of this is all about, to get you to understand one philosophy that you need to really understand to get back to where you come from, to get where you need to go. Know thyself. That's why I adopted philosophy, and that's why I teach it, why it works. Why's this now? It's the difficult to even imagine. We can't get a family together in harmony. And they talk about society of people where doctrine kept them in harmony, okay? The psychological makeup of every individual were tuned to what? God. Everybody. The netters, which they call cosmic force. Both where? Within and without the body. They knew God was in nature. They knew God within them. They knew God with it. They knew God. We just believe in God. That ain't gonna cut it. Why? We still wilding out. Oh, I believe in God, but you acting a damn fool. I'm a so-so, but you still acting a fool. Stop with that nonsense. Let what you do show who you are, not what the hell come out your mouth. How about that? What they say don't match what they do. Don't trust them. They hypocrites. They lying to you. Moving on. Don't you be one of them. How about that? All you got to do is maintain and take care of you. They did that as a society, and it worked perfect. Why change it? Oh, other people wanted what they wanted. So I got that lesson for you too. Moving on. Sorry about that. But this is how it's going to be. I'm going to interject with my philosophical concept and points of view. Will show you. I don't just follow script. No. Script is laid out. I'm going to go off script. I'm going off. You ain't got to worry about that. You see, actors, the best actors, always go off script. Why? They bring what they bring to make it work. They know that. Moving on. Now, when they understood nature, as they called it, that was inside the body and outside, an afterlife concept existed and was unquestionably a fact of life. They didn't question it. They just said, well, no, that was it. Like your children, like my dad, until I got grown, everything my dad said was law. Everything my dad told me was right. So I got to college. Learned that lesson real fast, okay? Some things is best to learn on your own. All right, everybody teach you might not know what they're doing. That's what I'm saying. But watch this. At that time, for them, it was unquestionably a fact. Whereas today, in modern time, your students, watch this, y'all need to be what? Convinced themselves, okay? Okay. And watch this, through this elaborate system of what we call yoga, spiritual discipline, presented here and elsewhere, is one of the only ways that you can what? Know thyself. You have to get the lessons and practice them. There's a philosophy behind it that can be practiced and mastered. I see the clock, but that's cool. That's perfect. That's cool. All right. Now, the next most important element of the mass spiritual education program was what? Was they called a compilation of a philosophical system that what? That explained the cause and the purpose of one's existence through what? Storytelling, such as the creation story, mythology, and the Osiris resurrection. Both of them was my favorites. Why? Because it's about life, and it gives you a breakdown of you, okay? Resurrection myth. In the story of, I tell you, Haru and Set, again, about you, lower self, higher self. Egypt, lower Egypt, upper Egypt, lower Egypt. Whatever you want to make it, but it's all to teach you a philosophical point of view that you can practice and manifest and master for yourself through what? Daily practice. Watch this. And we got, they call the book of coming forth by day. Our equation or concept of the Bible. What? Basic instruction for leaving Earth. They give you that. Why? They knew there's an afterlife. They knew we leaving here. So, and more commonly known as, they called it the Egyptian Book of Dead, because they was grave robbers and they took the book from the people in their graves. The book was called the Book of Dead because of that, but the book was, in its people's term, the book of coming forth by day, coming to the afterlife. They preached it, they taught it, they lived it, they wrote it down. The Egyptian Book of the Dead, which contained much of what? The essential wisdom of the virtue and righteousness of who? Maya. They took it to the grave, and it was so important that they judged you by how Maya you lived. I tell you, it's there on the wall. My little shrine. I started out over 37 years ago with that poster. It intrigued me. I want to see, question my life integrity against Maya. I failed miserably. Yeah, I went to work on myself. I changed me. You can't change no situation in your life. You can't change nobody outside your life, but you can change you and how you deal with every situation in your life. And when you institute balance in your life, you will deal with situations a whole lot better for yourself, with outcome what benefits you, where you just do what you need to do and do what's right. That's the outcome will always be in your favor, regardless of, no. As long as you handle yourself, maintain your cool. I got that lesson coming up. All right. But the idea, okay, was, again, as previously discussed, there are two basic paths to spiritual evolution. You had the path of passion, which is nature, and you got the direct path. What's that? The path of passion. And that requires, you ready? That path of passion requires many incarnations, meaning birth, death, many painful and unhappy life experiences that we're trying to stop. Why? Because with self-knowledge, knowledge of self will stop that from happening. It's happening because you have no knowledge of self. You're ignorant of who you are. And once the physical body died, the spirit had to go into another body and do it over again. That's been going on since we started this thing conceptually. And watch this. What's the direct path? The passion path, got to experience, trial and error. That's going to take carnations, reincarnations. But the direct path is that path of yoga, a.k.a. right thinking. Now, this is done through a science. Remember, the heart conscious is spelled CONSCIENCE. That's a science. It's been proven. And it tells you right here. Oh, yeah. The science. Okay. Through the science of yoga, okay, our ancient mysteries, one now is able to what? Accelerate one's spiritual evolution toward what? Perfection. Remember that? For those who choose the direct path, the temples were what they call the training centers, a.k.a. your universities, your hospitals, and your place of refuge. All that was done at the temple. Psychological therapy, all that was done at the temple. Marriage card therapy, all that was done at the temple. The priests and the high priests, they was qualified to help you in every aspect of your life. Why? Because they had mastered theirs. They can't do it if they didn't have the knowledge and understanding and the wherewithal, and more importantly, the experience. Your college professors didn't start out college professors. They had to learn and master so they can do what they do, teach it to you. I love it. I'm wrapping it up. I'm about to take it home. I see the clock. I'm almost home. I got a little bit more. We almost there. Now, watch this. The striking symbolism. And the world is based on symbolism. You got to learn how to read them. Watch this. The symbolism of who? The Ethiopian. The Egyptian philosophies were combined with the Egyptian understanding of what? Of God. They knew how to get to God way before Jesus come along. Christians, please understand that. And in a culture rich, which saw what they call religion in everything, that was God. God consciousness, that means I do everything with God on my mind. That's how they did it. That's what we instituting. That's what you try to learn, Christians. Y'all Christ conscious, same thing, okay? But just doing and living righteous and virtuous. That's what God recognizes. And watch this. They did it in everything. Duh. And that constituted what? A formidable life system of what they call yoga, which now today may partially explain what? Their longevity of the Egyptian and their culture of civilization in many ways surpassing what? Modern day society, and still confounding the Egyptologists and others who try to what? Understand the Egyptian through what? Pure intellectual approach. It don't work that way. It had to be intellect and spirit together, mind and body. Rather than what? As a student, and I say I'm a master myself, but I'm a student in life of what? Self-improvement. I'm constantly trying to improve myself when? Daily. That's my goal. That's my personal thing personally. Wrapping up one more paragraph for you, but this going to lead us into the next one. We're going to do the world and cosmic infinity by mix that with my cosmic terms. So wrap this up. But the world is wholly intellectual, so they think. So therefore, all answers are intellectual to the world, the ignorant. At some point, is what is necessary for what? One to use that gut, that internal, that feeling of one's what? Your higher intuitive nature, aka I said, to feel what? The truth. You have to experience and feel the truth and not be afraid to what? Discard your old, what you believe to be truth in favor of the new, which is now you know to be what? The real one. We had, again, programming. Once you become deprogrammed, break down what you used to know and then reprogram with what you need to know, you become a different person. That's the transformation. That's the enlightenment. That's born again. Not physically, but spiritually and mentally. That's the difference. And this is the process of what they call spiritual growth. Until we fully know as a people the absolute truth, the never-ending expansion of what? Thought, which leads to wisdom and health, contraction of our consciousness, meaning coming together, pulling it together, as opposed to expanding, representing our ignorance right there, intention, and that causes what? Dis-ease in the body, mentally and physically. Did you know that you can make yourself sick mentally? Trust me, that means what? The mind runs the body. Understand that. When they work in harmony as one, that's the Kundalini, and it flows freely. And that's what good health. I got 10 years in running with it. And watch this. Recent linguistic and archaeological evidence, here we go, is compelling, but the information that comes to us from what? Contemporary historians is inescapable. Facts are facts. It is what it is. And if you're not what? Understanding and enlightening to knowing thyself, you will be a victim of what? Mental and spiritually slave. Not knowing thyself, meaning you, some things you don't know about you, and that's not going to help you. My goal is to get you to know you, help you know thyself. That's the lesson. I'll be right back with world history and cosmic infinity. It's going to be something good. Why? This is the good stuff. I'm just giving it all to you as we go. In closing, right thinkers, me all live to be 100. Me, I take 100 miles a day. So I know that my right thinkers have passed away. Knowing thyself, you don't die, you multiply.